at this point I open two fronts, because here and there I was mentioning about systems theory or systems approach. So from lesson to lesson I was sharing some information about system approach, but without dedicating a whole lesson for systems. I decided just to be presenting it bit by bit. And also, let me put it here, we covered behaviorism and cognitivism. Okay, these two different approaches to learning, and in particular we spoke a lot about cognitivist approach to motor learning, because now we got a point that we are focusing specifically on motor acquisition. When you're thinking about learning, we think about information. Okay, this is the teacher, and the teacher has the information inside his brain. Okay, information is here. And of course, this is the student, that the student wants to get this information transferred to him. So there's demonstrations. I put a big D here. There's demonstration, and the student with his or her sensory motor organs are going to look at it. Is going to listen to it. And this information, big I practice, then it's going to practice. It's a big P. The student gonna practice, and maybe there's step number 1, number 2, number 3, and 4. Okay, they have to do a jiu-jitsu technique. So the student is going to look at it and listen to it and figure this out by repeating. Okay, this is the demonstration of the technique, the T. So the technique equals these 4 steps. Okay, so that's how it works. So then the student look at it, has a mental representation, and then mental representation of what it is, and then he tries to replicate what he saw by practicing it by drilling. We have this word drilling. Until he gets to an acceptable form in terms of performance. Form in terms of performance on this, and a very specific condition like drilling. passing the guard. Okay, you do one, let's go right, left, right, left, right, left. This is very cognitivist, which means that they see this is a passive agent. No, he's receiving the information, and the information has to go inside the student's brain, and the student will figure it out, or create mental representations, and then will repeat the movement until he or she gets it. And then we have sparring. I put a less here. And the student, because there was practice, and the student did all the steps in the drilling. Okay, and all the steps equals the technique, and because the student can perform the technique now during drilling, he can confidently go to sparring where there's another person there. See, we got two students there. There are two students, and they will engage with each other. Oh, nice. They will engage with each other, and this student is on, let's say this one, and then the student has technique number 1, number 2, number 3. These are all the techniques that the student has in his head, that he practiced. And there's the takedown technique, there's the passing guard technique, sweeping technique, and submission technique. Okay, I have 3-4 techniques. Okay, so when they engage, the student will be able to apply these techniques here. Okay, so that's what that's rough. It's a rough description on how jiu-jitsu starts. So what I did, let me try just to get to this part here, is to work on understanding this approach and talking about positives. The positives, thumbs up. Let's see if I can do a thumbs up. The positive, yeah, a bit worried about this thumb up. What it's gonna look like? Yeah. I'm talking about the positives of this approach. Oh, nice. Okay, this has positive things and how we can work using this approach in order to teach jiu-jitsu. Okay, that's what we did. And then we went a little bit further, and I extended my comments about systems. And to understand us humans as systems, and jiu-jitsu as a system on itself. Okay, we spoke about it. Then how the closed guard system, open guard system, takedown system, different ways. But there, when thinking about systems and thinking what are systems? Systems are complex. They are adaptive. They are adaptative. They self-organize, and patterns of behavior that will emerge. Okay, there will be emerging patterns of behavior. Okay, imagine. Okay, imagine that you have you put two people in a situation. Let's see, how can I do a close guard? It's a close guard situation here. Well, not sure how it will look like. I'm gonna make a triangle for hip. Okay, so these two people. Wow, this is maybe the body a little bit longer. It has to have two legs. So this is a close guard. So you put the person in a situation. Here you have the situation. Let me move this. This is the situation. You put them, one person on their knees inside the other person's leg. Okay. And let's give them two simple rules. Let's see what rules I'm gonna give them. Okay, objective. Let's see the objectives. Okay, so you can't touch the face, you can't punch, of course. Now you have to have these rules there. Don't touch the face, don't punch, don't scratch, don't try to poke your finger anywhere. Okay, that's it. And the person on their knees has to try to get away from the other person's legs. Okay, so we have to separate your legs. So the rule number one. Okay, there's like how to proceed. No, of course there's how to behave within this interaction. Okay, there are things we can't pull the hair, you can't punch, you can't poke the nose, you can't poke the eye, you can't do. But then you have two rules. Rule number one. So let's do top person and bottom person. Okay, top person. Objective. Let's go objective. Okay. Two objectives. Objective. Number one. Objective. Top person has to disengage, separate from within the legs and stand up, moving away. Objective. So the top person has an objective. Now let's give an objective to the bottom person. Objective bottom person. Do not. So negative. Do not let top person posture and neither. Don't let the top person posture, and do not under no circumstance do not let them open your legs. Okay, then you have rules of engagement. of course. This is objective. I need to have rules of engagement here. Let me move this up. Rules of engagement. We need the rules of engagement. Rules of engagement. Engagement. Go. Okay, you can grab the uniform, any part, as long as you don't put everything inside. You do not grip if the fingers inside the uniform when in sleeve or trousers. Okay, that's a rule. Otherwise, like lapel, yes. Otherwise, any other things, lapel, you can do it. And then, do not pull hair, hand on face, and just the basic. Do not slamming. You can not have you slamming there. Of course, you can grab neck, wrist, body, but not fingers. Okay, that's it. Fingers. Okay, so what's gonna happen there? You give this person, these people, these rules of engagement, and each person has an objective. And what's gonna happen? And you give them 50, I don't know, 100 rounds. So this is over a period of time. So 100 rounds in total. And let's imagine there is a group of people doing their training with each other over and over again, and in total you're going to have 100 rounds with this basic rule. So each person will be able to be both on top and bottom several times. Let's put like 1,000 rounds, around 100,000, as many rounds as possible. And what is gonna happen? See, when you have this situation and these people with each one with different objectives, this becomes something complex. So there is complexity here. Okay, it's okay. You have to stand and you have to separate your legs. The objective is very simple, and the other person's objective, just keep the legs closed and don't let the person posture. As long as you are within the rules of engagement, it's all fine. But now it becomes complex because every time top person tries to posture, the bottom person will react in a way that may be unpredictable, in an unpredictable way. Say, person passes, the other person pulls the person back. Okay, but once the bottom person uses the sleeve, the collar, the lapel, the elbow, how many options? He can use his legs, he can grab the neck, he can grab under the armpit, see? So it's complex. And this relationship, this is a relationship, is not, I'm not the top person, the bottom person, they're not acting alone. Now, there's a relationship in between these two parts. This is one part of the interaction, and this is the other part of the interaction. So there's a relationship there. What else? You can describe for the top person, look, you have to push up, elevate one leg, elevate the other leg, and separate the hips. No, so we have like these three parts. But if you break the movement down in opening the legs in parts, even if you follow these three steps, step number 1, step number 2, step number 3, they will not necessarily allow you to separate yourself. You see? Because now, this is the technique, step 1, 2, 3, to separate yourself from the closed legs. You don't even have to call it guard. It doesn't have to be called anything. There's a situation there. It doesn't work this way anymore, because for this person to separate him or herself, there are other things in consideration, which is his relationship with the guy on bottom. And now the sum of the parts doesn't equal to the whole extent of what is required, of the technique, of what is required to actually apply this technique, because there are more variables now. It becomes holistic, less parts of a system. It's holistic. Okay, so we have to look at this as a whole interaction, not as one person just step number 1, number 2, number 3. It's holistic. There's a relationship to be taken into consideration between one part and the other part of the system, if we can already call this a system. There may be, in the environment, there may be some factors that will influence both people decision making. Is there an audience? Is there someone coaching each one of these persons and telling them what to do? So these are environmental factors that may influence decision making as well, or add stress. By adding stress may influence decision making. You have a specific step number 1, number 2, number 3. The assumption here in my previous slide, on my previous sketch, the assumption is like, if you do step number 1, number 2, number 3 equals separating yourself from the guard. So it determines, these steps will determine this outcome. But right now, no longer, because this person is over and over again trying to follow these three steps, which is posture, separate the legs, posture up, break, create a distance. It doesn't mean, even if you follow these three, doesn't mean that you're going to have the result. Is non-deterministic. There is no linearity in terms of cause and effect, because they are different. Because